evidence to this day of what happened to the thousands of Ukrainians and other Europeans who were branded as enemy aliens during the First World War. Until 1989, I never knew that there were internment camps in our national parks. In the Rocky Mountains, where millions of people come every year to enjoy the beautiful scenery. I suspect many of you growing up in Alberta did not know that there were 5 internment camps in Alberta, and many projects in Banff and Jasper National Parks were built by internee labor. During Canada's first national internment operations of 1914 to 1920, 8,579 men and some women and children were interned by the Canadian government acting under the authority of the War Measures Act. While most were recent immigrants from the multinational Austro-Hungarian, German, and Ottoman empires and the Kingdom of Bulgaria. Some were Canadian-born or naturalized. Held in 24 receiving stations and internment camps across this country, from Nanaimo, British Columbia to Halifax, Nova Scotia. These second-class prisoners of war were generally separated from the first-class German and Austrian prisoners of war. Many were transported into the country's frontier wilderness and obliged to work for the profit of their jailers. Personal wealth and property were confiscated, and all of it was returned on parole or following the end of the internment operations. Canada's first national internment operations were shaped by pre-war prejudices that were exacerbated by the wartime xenophobia. Between 1891 and the outbreak of the First World War, some 170,000 Ukrainian immigrants arrived in Canada, lured to the Dominion with promises of freedom and free land. Only a few years after these pioneer settlers arrived in the Northwest Territories, a clergyman, Father Morris, expressed his loathing for them in the Calgary Daily Herald, and this was written on January 27, 1889. And I quote, "As for the Galicians, I have not met a single person in the whole of the Northwest who is sympathetic to them. They are, from the point of view of civilization, 10 times lower than the Indians. They have not the least idea of sanitation. In their personal habits and acts, they resemble animals. And even in the streets of Edmonton, when they come to market, men, women, and children would, if unchecked, turn the place into a common sewer." Such bigotry persisted in the immediate post-war period. An inflammatory editorial on February 10, 1919, in the Winnipeg Telegram, it's titled, "Enemy Aliens Must Go," questioned whether it was necessary to import a race of inferior beings to do our work, or right for returning soldiers to compete with the bohunks of Central Europe, who have been accustomed to their own country to being submitted to and being driven like cattle, who are ignorant of every principle of sanitation and lost to all sense of decency and living conditions. The writer insisted that the returning soldiers or any other white man must be given decent working conditions, and that those conditions in any occupation at present are unfit for a white